Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is INX Prime Live. Remember, we are on your screens every single Monday to Friday between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Now, it's important for us to identify authors, as we always do on the show, but more importantly, we need to be able to find those publishers who actually give authors the opportunity to succeed. Now, we are chatting to one individual who is unique and invaluable perspective, which is informed by his experience in the book publishing industry, as well as when it comes to management development, as well as strategic branding. Now, he is someone who is obsessed with publishing stories and knowledge that inspire change in people's mindsets for the next level of their lives, both personally and professionally. Now, we are chatting to none other than Mr. Webster Senasi.
There we go.
Got it right. There
Got
we
it
go.
right. Perfect. Perfect.
Awesome. No, I mean, it's really nice having you. I know that you are the CEO and founder of TW Publishers.
Yeah.
I want to chat about you guys because, I mean, we're always seeing, you guys winning awards all the time. You've won a lot of prestigious awards. Tell us a little bit more about your background when it comes to being a publishing house, and also what does it mean to actually, be a publisher in South Africa?
Sheesh. So my background is not actually in publishing, believe it or not. My background is in management development. But, when I was studying my LLB back in university, and I was doing my second year, I believe it was, something felt a little different. And I just suddenly lost the flame that got me into law in the first place. And I said, you know what, I think I might just drop out of law. And I did, which was not the best decision. But it was something that I felt I needed to do. So then I went on kind of like a 2-year hiatus at home, figuring myself out. And yeah, and I was at a point in my life where I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I knew there was something inside me that was pushing me in a certain direction. I just didn't know what that direction was. Until I took the decision one day, I'm going to pray every day for as long as I can so that I can, find whatever this thing I'm supposed to do. So I prayed a particular prayer every night before I went to bed for 9 months. And on that particular night, I had a dream. And the dream was about books. And it was an amazing dream. I was confused because I didn't know what it meant, but 10 seconds later after I woke up, it was like I had like a download. I just knew what to do. And so then that birthed the whole publishing thing and started writing my first book, researching. Took me 2 years, wrote it, published it, didn't work out. Mm-hmm. Published the second one, didn't work out. Published the third one, and it took me everywhere. And it wasn't even a book that I, to be honest with you, it's not a book that I thought would be very successful. Mm-hmm. It must have been like 75 pages. It was like a guide on how to self-publish in South Africa, based on my experiences, my failed experiences in publishing. But people really loved it, and that started, the speaking side of things as well, and people coming to me for help. So that's kind of like my background in it. I was thrown into this world of publishing, and I earned my stripes over the years, making stupid mistakes and learning and all of that, and coming to where we are today. It's a dream, literally a dream. But being a publisher in South Africa, it's a tough one. It's a tough one,
hey?
No, it's a tough one, because you need to know who you are. The basis for everything that I do is who I am. It's my foundation in everything. And it informs everything that I do and my vision and how far I want to take things. But it's an amazing time. There's not a lot of us in the publishing world, but it's an amazing opportunity.
It is an amazing opportunity. I just want to touch, we'll definitely cover some of the challenges that authors face when they do write their first book and second book, because it happens to a lot of authors. But I'm glad that, a book like what you did share as your third book helped a lot of people, because at the end of the day, a lot of people wanted the answer to that question on how to self-publish, and you've actually provided them with that solution. Also, funny enough, if you're looking at 12% of all the CEOs in South Africa, all of them, 12% of them actually have a LLB or law degree. So that's actually quite unique as well. But just touching on you as a person, as well as your publishing house, right? You guys are known for being extremely innovative, but also looking at brand building when it comes to authors. Now, obviously, brand building involves a lot of marketing, a lot of brand positioning. Maybe perhaps share with us some of the strategies that you've put into place for some of your authors to be able to brand build them, but also to innovate this space.
Great question. This whole brand building thing is a major one for us because a lot of authors are just happy with having their book in their hands, and it's like, oh, and I've been there and I'm like, I can die now, I'm done. But then you realize you have to sell the book, and it's very hard to sell a book when nobody knows you. And it's very hard to sell a message that nobody has ever heard about, or even, maybe it's not relatable to them, or they don't resonate with it. So when we decided that, you know what, on top of all the publishing stuff that we do, because we're at the point where publishing is predictable for us, it's quite easy, but authors really struggle with everything that happens post-publishing, like marketing, like you're saying, and brand building, because that's what makes people buy things. It's not just having the thing there, it's creating the need and the desire and the like for people to actually buy it. So for us with, some of the things that we started to do, I'll take a very basic example. Something as simple as book distribution, but distributing the book to a specific place that has, that thing, something like exclusive books as an example. Because they're the biggest in South Africa, and arguably in Africa as well, and the most trustworthy. It's when it comes to brand building, distribution aside, because that's just where people go and buy books. It's more of a marketing ploy as opposed to a money making thing. So you distribute your book to the right place. That kind of helps with brand positioning, especially since with exclusive books, you're kind of rubbing shoulders with, it's more of a brand association thing. Your brand is available at this particular place, whether it's just at the store in Rosebank or nationwide. Just the fact that your book is there can do many wonders for you if you are also able to leverage that fact. So there's a lot of leveraging going on. So there's the book distribution side, but then there's also more of, I'm a big fan of being able to share, with your audience. So a lot of authors are very scared and kind of, they don't really want to add value to their audience's lives by sharing their content. I'm talking about their book content, because you need to buy the book at the end of the day. But we've actually come to find that the more you share your book content, whether it's for free or a chapter or whatever, there are different strategies. But the more that you do that is the more that people actually go out there and buy the book. Because essentially that's the whole point, is to get people to buy the book financially. But how we work is, our point as publishers is to make sure that people know you. The book is kind of like a byproduct kind of a thing, and we use that book to build your brand. So we build everything on top of a book. I can give you some examples. So let's say although he's a celebrity client, but let's say Mark Williams, right? Because he has a book on his soccer journey in life and whatever. So, it's a little different because he's a celebrity and almost everybody knows him. Yeah. But even if you were to look at some of the coaches that we work with, like a relationship coach, such as Jenny Schmal, she's a relationship coach, very awesome lady. She deals with helping people find love and the like. The book is one thing, but then there are certain things that she does in order to build on top of that book, such as certain live videos every day about how to find the love of your life, how to heal your broken heart, and all these other things. So there are many strategies when it comes to brand building, but essentially the core of them all is being able to share the content that this particular author has in a particular format to a particular audience in a particular way in which they can understand and they find it relatable, so that they can be, engaging with the author, and at the end of the day, build a community. It's all about building a community who can then support you by buying your stuff, listening to your things, following you.
That's very impressive, and it is a very important tool. I think a lot of what authors are looking for is they're looking for that support base, having a foundation where they know that whatever they need, they have somewhere to go to. And I think having a publishing house like your own plays a very important role. I mean, that's exactly why, I'm just looking at some of you guys' accolades here. You've been Book Publisher of the Year for 2 years in a row now. I mean, that is extremely remarkable, without a doubt. But I just wanted to know, what actually contributed towards that? Would you say it is the fact that you guys have that support option for a lot of your authors, where they can come to you for whatever they need?
That's a very good question. I think I would most likely attribute it to all the all the horrible stuff that we've been through, you know, in publishing books. Because one of the things that I found, especially in our publishing house, is that, you know, the success that we've achieved has been amazing. We're really grateful, and it was awesome. But all that success came through the, you know, the worst situations and the worst, you know, certain books where things looked like they were not going in the right direction, and we had to come up with something. So we like working a lot under pressure. And when we are under pressure, we shine. So a lot of those accolades and a lot of the success that we've achieved has been under tremendous pressure. If I could tell you how, you know, we publish some of these books, it's ridiculous, time frame wise and all of that. So it's literally, I'm a workhorse, yeah. Right? And our team are workhorses, so we're all on the same page, and we're willing to grind it no matter what. Yeah. If we have 2 weeks, we do it in 2 weeks. And we've done that.
That's the mindset, though. That's definitely the mindset to have. And I want to touch on, you know, and there's questions coming in from social media. I want to touch on a topic that a lot of people are speaking about right now, and that's to do with how do you sell books in South Africa if, for example, you are building a brand, but they say that the best formula has to do with controversy. So we've seen people like Jackie Pamotse come out with her own type of content. We've seen Gayton McKenzie come out with his. You know, there is a certain market that speaks to controversy, and controversy definitely sells. I want to touch on your clientele. So you've had about 100 global clients so far. You've done incredible work with them. But I want to touch on the idea of choosing who to work with, because I'm guessing that you've worked with 100, but there's probably been 1,000 people that contacted you, if not more. And I mean, I can speak about myself. I've tried to get, you know, speak to publishers. When I released my first book, I got 22 no's from 22 publishers, you know. So it's not the easiest thing in the world. But I want to know, how do you guys actually choose which books to go ahead with? And also, how do you know that this book is going to make you a lot of money, but also make the author a lot of money as well?
Man, those are two very tough questions. I'll answer your second one first. How do we know? We don't. We don't. I mean, of course, we check the markets and all of that, you know, make sure that the book is actually marketable, there's an audience for it, and it's a different take on this particular subject. Because as we found out, really, there's nothing new under the sun, topic-wise, you know. Everything to be said has been said, but the difference is having a unique perspective on that particular topic. So we look for uniqueness. We look for something different that, you know, it could be the same old topic of leadership as an example, but there's a different perspective on leadership that hasn't been spoken of up until now. So luckily for us, we haven't published any duds yet, and hopefully we won't. But how we normally go through this whole thing is we just take a lot of submissions. We look at, you know, the kind of book we want to associate ourselves with. There are some books that I said no to because they were kind of ridiculous. There are certain things that we are not willing to go into when it comes to publishing. But for the majority of the books that we've published, I just had that gut feeling. You know,
and that's a very important feeling. Hey, to have that gut feeling plays such an important role. I just want to touch on something before we let you go as well. You know, we do hear a lot of people, you know, speaking about different brands and they associate things with them. I think the one thing I did hear about you guys was about this thing called white label publishing. Now, a lot of people in South Africa don't even know what white label publishing is. So maybe you can share with us what that actually is and how does it benefit both you and your clients?
Sheesh, man. This is kind of like a secret thing, you know, because it's kind of like we publish books for other publishers as well, right? Except it won't say published by TW Publishers. Our logo and anything won't be on there. So we have a lot of publishers who come to us and who say, you know, we need help with this particular book. Can you, you know, either take over the project or work on the typesetting and layout design or any specific element, and we publish the whole book for them. And it's basically, when it's marketed and the like, it's published by so-and-so. We don't have anything to do with it. So we're paid to do that. So it's white label publishing. We publish books for other publishers. We publish books for other authors who had their books published by other publishers, but they weren't happy with it. So we deal with a lot of that. And it's a nice thing. Of course, nobody will ever know that we publish some, amazing books. But we help a lot of these publishers because a lot of them don't have the manpower, or they don't know what they're doing, and they just happen to land this amazing client, and so they want the best.
Yeah.
And so they call us up, and I never say no to a challenge.
And you guys are doing an incredible job without a doubt. Webster, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Awesome, guys. That is Webster Sanasi, without a doubt, who is the CEO and founder of TW Publishing. Now, if you are a budding author in that sense and want to definitely go out there and publish your first book, or if you're actually another publisher that wants to white label publish through them, definitely get into contact with them. But on that note, we are going to take a quick ad break. We'll come right back.